Alright, let's talk about why we make art. I think there are a lot of different reasons why we make art. For the aesthetics, for the process, as in a busy mind is a happy mind, for our self-perception, to prove something to someone or ourselves, for our ego, to share our feelings, our minds, share our thoughts. Let's try to untangle all of that. Even though none of these reasons are necessarily bad reasons, some of them appear to be labeled negative, at least to me. But thinking about it and letting it sink in, it seems to me that nothing is that black and white. We need to satisfy our sense of self, our ego, our perception of ourselves. To answer why do we make art, I think, at least for me, it's easier to answer related questions. To answer a question with a variable within, which is art, seems to be very difficult. What I mean by that is, art is a variable, an unknown. To me, it's an abstract concept, just barely out of reach. It claims the right to be undefined, to be fluid. So to answer something without having the question clearly defined appears to be a silly practice. So let's talk about some related questions. Why do we tell stories? Why do we share our minds, our feelings? Or furthermore, why do we like beauty? Even seemingly easy questions like that have multiple answers. Telling stories can be purely for entertainment, or maybe for education, for emotional intelligence. A story can bring someone to be empathetic. And even if that isn't the same as living it, it can at least emulate what one could have learned in said situation. So why do we share our minds? I think to share our thoughts is to satisfy the need for human connection. To not feel alone. The mind can be a very lonely place, and it's the only place we will ever truly be. Connecting with people about our very experience, how we feel and what's going on in our heads, or relating to them in our own way, is the only thing that brings us closer to reality, out of our own minds, our own thoughts. Feeling understood, feeling part of our circle of friends, or family, or our community. Recently, my niece came to visit us, and we sat down to draw together. Every paper she filled was a gift. It was never to keep or for her to enjoy. And it made me think back to when I first started drawing or creating. The typical drawings of houses and a family. It was never to keep. It was always a gift to my parents. Even later in school, in arts and crafts classes, I would bring home these artworks to gift them. I would never keep them for myself to look at them. I came to art through comics actually. When I grew up, I used to love watching SpongeBob. The older I get, the comics changed and the shows I watched. But eventually I started drawing myself. I drew more and more funny things in school, little things to make your bench neighbor laugh. Can that even be called art? I think that's a whole another discussion. Let's just assume for the sake of this argument, doodling in class is art. I'm not going to challenge that, not for this argument. Even then, it was always a gift. Something I would spend my time alone, concentrated, working out the drawing, to just show someone to make them giggle. Usually, these drawings would represent something they were going through, something we or they experienced, and was to say, hey, I get you, I understand, to make them feel part of a community and accept their thoughts and experiences in their entirety. Even if it's just a decorative artwork, it can be put under the same topic of sharing what you like and sharing what you deem to be beautiful. Having it in your house or sharing it through social media is to let people see a piece of your mind. So to round things up, I think to make art and pursue the craft is a very social act. The human factor within art is undeniable. A pursuit to connect, to share our inner thoughts and processes. If you want to know more about my contradicting feelings towards my own artworks, you might want to check out this video.